one. Mama, take this badge of me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Mama, put my guns in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore. That long black cloud is coming down. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door.
Thank you so much for being here. Kim didn't really like funerals, as you can probably see, and that's why we're all here right now, celebrating her amazing life and keeping alive the love and joy that she always had. Everything that you're already doing, chatting, sharing old stories, catching up with loved ones, that's exactly what she wanted. So Kim was a very loving aunt. She was a beautiful woman and she had a lot of love to give. And I'm sure everyone here feels the same. So thank you so much for sharing this moment with us. And thank you so much for being here. Because that's all she would have wanted. Thank you.
Thanks, James. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Alec. I'm Jackie's eldest. I'm going to be reading a speech on behalf of my mum, so you need to take that in context. Kim and Mum were extremely close growing up. They used to hang out, share bedrooms, play board games, go on many holidays, share clothes, mainly Mum's, share friends, talking for hours on end, mainly Kim, playing 12-inch vinyls until Mum could no more, partying, dancing, laughing until they had to reach for the Venlin. There were not too many Hilton Hotel cabarets that they didn't attend. One of the last ones they attended was George Benson, where she was having such a fun time, she thought it would be a good idea to hop on stage with him. And so Mum enjoyed the rest of the show without Kim. It was very rarely a somber moment when Kim was around. Her smile and eyes lit up any room that she walked into. She was very articulate and witty. Her raucous laugh could be heard for miles. Kim had a natural beauty admired by many. Her creativity blended in with her very eclectic style, always loved a cheeky fashion designer and a good old Vinnie's bargain. Her passion for music took her far and wide. When Mum and Kim were in New York City together, they decided it would be a good idea to travel up to Philadelphia to try and meet Patti LaBelle. After driving out with the rental car yard, Mum decided that driving in New York wasn't for her, and definitely not for Kim. With much sorrow, Mum and Kim finally accepted that Patti LaBelle wasn't to be found. That said, 3 months later, when they were back in Sydney, Kim jumped on the Manly Ferry and called Mum, screaming down the phone, "Guess who I'm on Manly Ferry with? None other than Patti LaBelle." So of course, Kim got a photo, and the story lives on. Family and dogs were everything to Kim. Sarah was her first fur baby, a little cocker spaniel. She walked Sarah to Maroubra and back on a regular basis. It was nothing for Kim to walk 20 or 30 kilometres a day with Sarah. One evening she was striding through botanical gardens with Sarah when Jerry Seinfeld stopped to pat young Sarah. Kim's response was, "Sorry Jerry, I haven't got time to stop right now." Then there was Denise, a little Jack Russell. She got out one day and never came home. There's a long story behind that one, but perhaps Mum can fill you in at another time. Neil was another Jack Russell who used to like jumping, until one day the rooftop was just too much for him. Then her most recent love was Alan. He was a rescue dog. Kim's world revolved around Alan, yet another Jack Russell. After Kim's passing, Alan couldn't cope, and they're now together eternally. So many travel, concerts, family stories that Mum would love to share with everyone, but we don't have all day. So I certainly would love to hear your stories, as would everyone else here, that you shared with Kim throughout her long life. That Kim, Kymba, Kimmy, or whoever she was to you, she'll always be Mum's little sister. She always has, and Mum always will adore her. As Whitney Houston once sang, I'll always love you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Richard. I've been a friend of Kymba'S since about 2005, and my connection with Kymba is through her love of music, so I'd just like to share a couple of things in relation to that. So, to start with, Kymba's love of music, in my opinion, came directly from her mum Maria, who played the piano and the accordion. And Kymba never failed to tell me every time I saw her, my mum played. She loved her mum, and she loved the fact that her mum played music. So I met Kymba in about April 2005 at a gig at the Vanguard in Newtown with a blues soul singer from the States, Eugene Bridges, came out here, and my friend who's here today, Austin, he introduced me to Kymba, and I was with another friend of mine who's since passed away, Billy Cuthbertson. So at the end of the gig, we gave Kymba a lift back to Millers Point when she was living in 24 High Street, and we got to meet the fabulous Minnie Foxy Denise, and had a bit of fun, talking and stuff, and then at about 1 o'clock we left to go home, and the police stopped us. And the police said, because they said you can't go out Hickson Road, any Millers Pointers would understand where that is. And they said you can't go out Hickson Road because there's been a double murder drive-by shooting. So I thought, okay. So I went back and knocked on Kymba's door and said, do you know there's, just letting you know there's been a drive-by shooting, and she seemed totally unconcerned about that. She said, well, this is the deal for Millers Point, you know, where we're used to this kind of stuff. You know? So that was the very eventful first time I met Kymba. Now, Kymba's love of music was primarily, well, she loved all music, but she particularly loved the women singers, and she used to call them the truth tellers. And as Alec just mentioned then, number one truth teller was Patti LaBelle. And this is a bit of an extension of what Alec was talking about then, but in 1996, Patti LaBelle came out and played 6 shows at the Hilton Hotel here in Sydney. Now, Kymba went to every show. Every show, she went to every show of Patti LaBelle. And on the last show, as Kymba told me, I wasn't there then, Patti said, there's a little lady named Kymba in the audience and I want to get her up on stage. So Kymba came up stage and gave Patti a big hug, and that, that was like magic for her, for that to happen. So I'll progress on a little bit. In the early 2000s, Kymba volunteered at 2MBSM, the Stormy Monday program, which Austin is the DJ for many years here today again. And on one occasion, these are stories Kymba told me, obviously I wasn't there. Ross Wilson, who you may know from Daddy Cool and Mondo Rock, rang up the station to request a song or something like that. And Kymba grabbed the phone and she said, "Oh, Ross Wilson." But she wasn't interested in Ross. She was interested in Pat Wilson, his ex-wife, who did the song, "She's a Bop Girl, She's a Bop Bop Girl." She was really interested in the girls. So just finally, in 2010, we went with Kymba and I, and Mark Waters is here today, another friend of Kymba's. We went to see Al Green, the great soul singer, at the State Theatre. Now, there's a number of events in this story. The first one is Kymba wanted to bring a present for Al, and she thought the perfect present was a kangaroo paw back scratcher. Now, I'm not going to go into the history of Al Green and why he may have needed a kangaroo paw back scratcher, but it gives you an example of Kymba's sense of humour. So we got to the State Theatre and we negotiated with the security people, and they sent the nicely wrapped kangaroo paw back scratcher back to Al. And then, when we were running around for the beginning of the show, who was there but Bob Hawke and Blanche Delboucher sitting on the stairs. And Kymba just powered straight through. "Hi Bob, glad to see you here." And you got good enough taste to hear Al Green, completely ignoring Blanche, by the way. So then before the concert, Kymba and I were trying to work out what's Al going to play tonight, And I think I suggested I'll probably play the Bee Gees one, "How Do You Mend a Broken Heart," which he did do. But the top one that Kymba really loved was "Love and Happiness." So the concert went on, it was fantastic. And then I wasn't paying attention, obviously, because suddenly I got the elbow in the ribs, and then Al immediately launched into "Love and Happiness," and that was it. So that's all I've got to say now is farewell to our beautiful music-loving friend Kymba. Thank you.
Thanks so much, everyone. This is a fly-by the seat of my parents. Maybe my friend Christine might come up, but maybe she might not. It's totally fine. I just want to thank everybody, as James said, for coming along, and really wanted to thank everybody for the outpouring of love, of incredible storytelling. As you can see as you're coming in, we've just left a little snatch pad there. It's your message to Kim, it's really a message to us as well. Every single person here has got a story. Some of them may not be repeatable.
Many.
But for those that you feel, if you feel that you can share them, we'd love for you to even take it home and forward it back to us. I have the great pleasure of being one of the famous five. And I'm very honoured to be here today as one of the famous five, as Nana said. I've got my five beautiful girls. Well, one of them's actually with her in heaven now, and I'm feeling very relieved that they were there to reach her. So thank you, everybody. And all I wanted to say in closing was thank you for being there when we needed you this last month. And if you wouldn't mind raising your glasses, salute Dad. Kim. Salute Dad. Thank you.
You know I love you, baby. Why did you have to break my heart? It's been from this long.
Take this badge of me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Mama put my guns in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore. That long black cloud is coming down. I feel I'm knocking on heaven.